BYDFi is a crypto exchange on desktop and mobile where you can spot trade, futures trade, use leverage tokens, and copy the trades of top traders. If you sign up with the link in the description, you get a free $100 when you deposit $100. There's hundreds of crypto available on their spot exchange, as well as a free test account so you can practice futures trading without getting wrecked. BYDFi. Hello everybody, welcome back. We're going to look at XRP very briefly on this video for what it's worth after the SEC scenario. Now we've given it all back. A quick update, I suppose, on Tomo from the setup yesterday. Still working out, still looking okay. Potentially going to fulfill a higher target, but I've exited this trade for now. So those of you that took that trade, well played. For those of you who didn't, never mind. It's a 24-hour market. There's going to be some more things along the line. Now, what I'm going to present to you here isn't a futures trade unless you've got balls of steel. It could be a futures trade if you do have balls of steel and tight stop losses. But it's more of an observation on how XRP performs and behaves. So what we've got here is the SEC pump. It went straight through the 60 to 90 cents targets, which are in this. We've been talking about this since we crept out of here. Really, that these are the next areas of significance, and we basically hit them in a day. Not that I expected that, obviously. I expected the zone to be hit at some point, but I didn't expect it to happen one day, obviously, because that was a fundamental breakthrough, I suppose you could call it, with the SEC lawsuit and stuff. So. And again, what I always try to put across is that XRP, the motto that you should have for XRP is, thou giveth, thou taketh away, which is exactly what happened here. Giveth and taketh away, basically back down to the 51.5 cent zone, which is, as far as I'm concerned, while being around that zone, that rough level is actually still quite bullish. There is chance that we do recover from here. I know that we're staring down the barrel of a Bitcoin gun, and traditional markets as well, but and there's a lot of things going on this week, in the broader markets. But based on its own chart, we're back to where we were before. And I remember being, on the Patreon. I'm doing a Patreon live stream tonight. If you want to join that, there's links in the description below for that. We do 2 of them a week. But what I was saying is that I said, look, if you want to buy XRP investment, for the next move up at least, you buy it around a 200 simple or exponential. Simple being this yellow one, exponential being the white one. We accumulate around these. If you're bullish, you would buy when you're on them, roughly. So again, what we're doing right now is we're right in the middle of both of them at a horizontal area. It doesn't have to hold, obviously. Trading, buying, and selling. It's all a breakdown of statistics. There's no 100% success rate or a certainty that something is definitely going to happen. So, but on average, on balance, we've waited all this time. If you haven't got XRP and you want it, your first opportunity to dollar cost average or get your foot in the door would be roughly around now. We are below a 200 exponentials, never a good deal, but we haven't yet tested the simple, which is sitting down here at 50. 50 cents is a nice flat round number for Captain Noobmaster and his buddies. They will remember that because it's easier to count on your hands to where we're going to go from here. If I buy this at 50, I can sort of that's 10x. That's how it works for Captain Noobmaster. It's not Captain Noobmaster is not a term for new people into crypto. It's a term for people who don't know how to trade, really. So that's all I'm saying. So right. So long story short, this is an okay area. Let's have a look at the Bitcoin pair, because this also was a decent and probably, if not better, way to look at the chart historically and where to buy from. We've had this really epic buy zone here. For the most part, this has been the best place to buy within this purple zone. All the way down at 1,537 sats to as much as 1,665 sats, thereabouts. It's a small range. And obviously we're quite above all of that. We are still above the 200 exponential and the simple. So actually the Bitcoin pair looks better for what it's worth. It does look better. If we take it down to a shorter term time frame, obviously it's not going to look particularly good. Fresh death cross and yeah, nothing but rejection from that. Any divergence in play? Well, there's probably not going to see any divergence because we're actually uptrending at the moment. So if that's the case, what we can look at would be any rhythm or rhyme to the way that this is looking. And I would say it's forming a symmetrical triangle. We're using the 200 exponential moving average on the 4 hourly and this horizontal this uptrend of support. So we're getting quite close to the apex, so we would be looking for a break on this at some point soon. Now, we don't have any sort of positive or negative signals on this. It is basically a support stroke resistance thing, and we're at the resistance of it right now. The support of it right now, quite close to another Captain Noob Master number, 2000. So again, sometimes Captain Noobmaster does have deep pockets sometimes. So what we're looking for would be, if anything, a support here that takes us up towards the 200 exponential, back up to 2080 sats on the short-term timeframes on the Bitcoin pair. So we don't know what that will mean on the Tether pair, but again, the Tether pair is sitting at support as well. It doesn't matter what time frame you look at it. That 51.5 cent zone is a powerful area to consider a first decent buy on XRP for what is going to be a rinse and repeat of the market cycle. So I've got a very rough and crude log sale thing here. I'll take away all these. These don't really correspond to the log chart, but all we're seeing here is this is the beginning of the XRP chart. Looking at this on a weekly, big move up, consolidation down, long period of time. Big move up, consolidation down, long period of time. Big move up, consolidation down, long period of time. We're starting the next move up for the market cycle. Looking at this on a log scale, it more or less is an up-only chart. XRP doesn't feel like an up-only chart for most people, because most of the time we look at these things on something like a Binance chart, where you saw the parabolic high, really, or the end of the parabolic high. But really, it is kind of an up-only chart. It's sitting here at 50 cents, and it was, when it came out, it was way less than a cent. It was tiny. Back, we're talking 10 years ago now. So it kind of is an up-only chart. Just people don't recognize it for what it is, but it kind of is an up-only chart. And it's an old altcoin, which makes the charts seem a little bit more reliable when it comes to buying at certain areas. And I think now that they're out of the woods with the SEC, there's no reason to dispute that this could fulfill its previous market cycles, the ones that it's been doing for the last 10 years, which should go on to another parabolic high, which in this instance I expect it to make a new all-time high. So its previous all-time high was about $3.50. So if we had another all-time high, let's just imagine it going up to $5, because that's a nice Captain Noobmaster number. Then that's a 10x from here. Similar to my expectation for most altcoins, 10x is from these levels. It doesn't mean that this is the bottom, but I would imagine that this would reach the 10x level, so around about a $5 zone. I'm not saying it's going to go any higher than that. I did a much deeper dive into the tokenomics of it previously. If it wasn't for the SEC, I suppose my lowest target for XRP was its previous all-time high, about 350. And when I really, I suppose, overreached, the max target for XRP was around about $24 or something like that. It's a video I made ages ago in the last bull market, thinking about a variety of different ways that you could try and calculate how high it could possibly go. And remember, this was kind of hurt significantly in the last bull run because it was taking off a lot of the exchanges. They weren't allowed to trade it because of the SEC. So now it's all back on, it's back in business, and they've got that royal seal of approval. It is not a security, so you don't have to worry about that anymore. All we're looking for now would be the completion of the market cycle. So we're as far as I can see, similar to either this peak or this peak in the market cycle. We've come down to retest and sit back down towards 200 simple and exponential. So if you really do have the balls and you really want to buy some and you don't have any and it's something that you really want, then the first level to buy from is basically now. But obviously this will come down with Bitcoin if Bitcoin wants to come down further. It has been seen in the past that XRP can run in the face of a dump. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. It's just an observation. It can just do its own thing. I put a lot of that down to the fact that it is old, and with age comes maturity. It doesn't necessarily have to correlate with the overall crypto market, although it most likely will. All I'm trying to point out is that, yeah, technically we're still bullish while being above a 200 simple. It's not looking great, but we are still bullish in theory. We're at a support on a symmetrical triangle while being above the exponential and the simple moving average on the daily for the Bitcoin pair. And momentum hasn't dwindled really. In fact, we've got positive crosses on the MACD. We're snaking up slowly but surely. And if we were to run, we could easily run back up to the 90 and beyond from here. And I expect that that's where it's going to go, obviously, over time anyway. So, you know, investment purposes, don't see too much of a problem buying here with an educated guess that this is a reasonable support that could yield some decent moves, at least doubling your money. In the short term, doesn't show any signals of doing something like that, but over a midterm, I think that this is an okay place to do it. I, for the record, have more than enough XRP, so I'm not going to be buying any more of this. I've got loads of it. I've got way too much. You know, the first amount I ever bought of this was like 3 cents. Back in the last bull run, I bought below 20. I was doing derivatives trades with coin futures on Bybit and Bityard, and with that, accumulated even more. So I just won't be buying any more. So just for the record, I'm not buying it here. I'm never going to be buying it again. I don't need to. I've got so much of the stuff. If anything, all I'll be doing is selling. Not even on these next rips, but much later on down the line when it reaches a much more significant peak, I'll be selling a lot around then. So it's just an observation. I get a lot of people always ask me, because I make these videos intermittently about XRP. And you know, I usually make them before a pump, and then when the pump happens, I get lots of requests about what to do with XRP. Can I buy it? Where should I buy it from? Where should I buy it? It really is as simple as what I always say. You buy when above a 200 simple and exponential on a daily, and then you wait for it to get overheated. The next pump, I couldn't tell you when it's going to be, but it will happen again. And at the moment, all this is just a matter of buying it here, buying it maybe even lower, basing it on the Bitcoin chart. You could buy it significantly lower than where it is right now. If you bought it, if this breaks down here, we could see another 9% drop to a potential 23% drop before you enter into the bottom of that epic buy zone. This really would be the epic buy zone for XRP. I'd probably look at this, and I think we can all agree that it's been way more reliable than trading it on a tether pair. When looking at this, it's had excellent, amazing reactions from these lower zones. So be prepared for that, to see your Bitcoin equivalent go down between 9 and 25% before it actually zooms back up. Anyway, more or less, that is all there is to say about it. It is a sideways, boring market, and there's not many opportunities. The one on Tomo yesterday was okay. It worked out okay, but it's still kind of measly and pathetic at the moment. It doesn't mean that it's not going to actually do a really big move, but as far as, you know, futures trading is concerned, that's going to have to do. It's actually better than it looks, to be honest, when you look at it like that. But yeah, that's going to have to do. In fact, it does still look really good actually for continuation, maybe up to 117. But I'm not in it. I sold. Right, I'll leave it with you there. If you want to join the live streams, again, Patreon, links in the description. £7.50 a month, 2 live streams a week. Other than that, I hope you have a nice day. Maybe join the Telegram. All of the links, again, in the description. I hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.